TGC Requiem here. We are back with, I don't know what I'm doing here, my match status. Sorry, I had it 1-1, but I lost 0-2 the previous match. Versus Grixis Control. We're playing Grixis Death Shadow. We're on the play here versus the worst. And this is fine. This is a fine hand. Opponent mulligans down to 6. So I've mentioned before, Polluted Delta is our best fetch in this build. It gets all of our fetches and our basics. Bloodstained Mire gets all of our fetches and our swamp. And then the other fetches are a little worse than that. Gonna be a little sneakier, starting with Blood Crypt here. We don't want to give away that we're on Grixis versus Jund quite yet. Four turns. Really just want to take the gifts ungiven because that's basically how they win. But we should be able to snap back at it later, so we're going to take the Serum Visions here. Pass turn. Opponent plays a Tarn. We got a push here. Gonna fetch for a blue-black land this time. Try and cycle into a creature here. Oh man, I think we're just going to put this on the bottom here. We just really need a creature. We can always snapcast our Serum Visions next turn if we need to. So I'm really hoping he draws into a Baral or Goblin Electromancer here. Let us use this Fatal Push while it's extra mana efficient. Sleight of hand. Look at all these fetches. Oh, we actually are gonna run for the basic here. We know he has a gifts and 2 lands. I think we just have to be proactive on our side. Hope to set up another Thoughtseize or Inquisition. Alright, so Death Shadow, Forest on the bottom, Death Shadow on the top. And then I like just letting the shadow out. I'm going to get a remand here. So now we have access to Thought Scour and Stubborn Denial. Yep. I think we're just going to hold that fetch up so that we can go get a blue source if we need it to counter anything. So we can kind of force him to go for the gifts now if we were to try and snap Thoughtseize. The issue with snap Thoughtseizing, and then we can stubborn it. The issue with snap Thoughtseizing is he could just then kill us the next turn if he has the ability to go off Stormwise. So I think we're better off to just attack here and then play a Serum Visions and then hold up mana. Don't want any of this. So again, the assumption here is going to go for Gifts Ungiven on our turn. And short of him having one heck of a hand next turn, don't quite see how he gets out of this short of maybe chaining together a few spells into a whatever the little Goblin Storm spell is. Empty the Warrens. So he's just trying to probably think through if there's any ways he had left to actually live there. We're live to quite a few draws. Brawl. He's going to go to cast something, we'll kill it. Serum Visions. He's got 2 mana, so I don't know that he can do anything else. I mean, even if he were to have a ritual, the best he can really do is cast the ritual. He's going to have 3 red mana. I guess If you had a couple rituals, you could ritual into Empty the Warrens, which would potentially get enough, which should get enough blockers out there to buy him some time. Plus he had a land, so now he can actually do a little bit more. Ritual into Ritual, Past in Flames, possibly. Fortunately, this Manamorphose, just to filter. Really probably digging for Empty the Warrens right now. Or just gets a big enough grape shot. Nice. That opponent was the worst. Hardy har har. So, I think we like these cards here. Collective Brutality could be alright, and Heal Spellbomb definitely. Don't think we need any extra Fatal Pushes. It's possible we may even want to pull one of the Fatal Pushes. I think we want to keep all the Lightning Bolts in. I don't know that Kolaghan's Command does a whole lot. We could bring in Anger as a hedge against him going wide. Also helps with the removal game plan. I think the Kolaghan's commands are a little slow. And I think I'm just going to take out a Thought Scour. I don't know that I really want all the Snapcasters in there. Alrighty, so we will be on the play here. Well, I would really love to keep this hand with these shadows if I could guarantee that I was going to get something playable here. The problem is if we Street Wraith and fetch, that's 15. If we get another fetch off the Street Wraith or the next draw, we're still only down to 1 power on the shadows. And unfortunately, he's going to be bringing in Lightning Bolts almost certainly. So I think this is unkeepable. This is better, not great. We'll put the Mire on the bottom. And then we're just going to start here with a little Serum Visions. Now, here the land doing damage to ourselves might actually be okay. So I'm actually going to put the Delta on top, the Shadow on top of that. So we should draw the Shadow next turn, and then we can Serum Visions into the fetch. Let's see, so this is going to put us to 15 down to 1. We actually want the fetch, so we're actually going to Serum Visions into the fetch first, which is fine. And then we don't care about the rest of these. We're going to go bottom. Top. Now we're just going to pass the turn here. Next turn we'll be able to take 8 life off of our total for our shadow. Put our shadow into the 3/3 range with a leading Inquisition to hopefully take away any lightning bolt that he may have, or they may have the opponent. Probably looking at Blood Moon here. Definitely in a black heavy hand. Before we get too frisky, we should probably take a peek, make sure we're not walking right into a Blood Moon. So here I think we're going to go with the lightning bolt. We're going to be putting our life total pretty low. Although, man, we do not want him to remand the Gurmag Angler. 4, 5, 6, 7. We don't really want him to Echoing Truth it either. It's an interesting hand. I think we just take the remand here. If we get him to play his Echoing Truth, we can just, yeah. Oh, well, that makes it easier. We are going to be... Nah, we gotta be smart here. Play the swamp. So I'm kind of hoping that we draw out the Echoing Truth here. That is kind of the plan. Because when he bounces that, we'll be able to just play the Death Shadow, and we'll be almost to recasting Gurmag Angler anyway. Just gonna be a little careful with the grape shot here. And then if he does go for a grape shot kill, we have lightning bolts on ourselves. So there's a little bit of a hope we can get him to bait out a grape shot. The lightning bolt on ourselves is fine. It'll actually increase Death Shadow's power, +3 each turn versus just doing 3 damage to our opponent once. so we want to get rid of the ritual. He already has a Grape Shot Metamorphose. I think here we just really want to go after the ritual. So he can't Grape Shot us right now, but he could set himself up to Grape Shot us next turn with this Gifts. So rather save the Bolt at the moment. Likely fire it off at ourselves on our opponent's next end step. I think the combat math is going to work out where, I mean, even if we did 3 more damage to him this turn, 12, we're still talking about 2 more turns of combat. On the assumption that I draw anything that can get Gurmag Angler onto the battlefield. So you go ritual, ritual. Put 2 cards on the graveyard. I think we just put the rituals in the graveyards, right? He casts a Baral. And we put the Pyretic Ritual. Right. So I'm actually going to hold Lightning Bolt up now, because if he casts Baral, that's what we're looking to hit. So he could still cast Past in Flames, but he gets no value out of it, so he's either going to just sit or Grape Shot, right? And he's going to Grape Shot the Death Shadow. Probably throw the rest at us. Oh no, he's going to kill Snapcaster. Oh god. Well, at least we can cast Gurmag Angler next turn. So now he does need some more mana production. Unfortunately, the way he sequenced his spells, he did a damage to us before he did the damage to the Death Shadow. And so that allows the Death Shadow to live, since he only put 2 points of damage on the Shadow. Great for us, not so much for him. So opponent draws a land. He could Past in Flames, Ritual. Yep, pretty sure we're gonna lose. Manamorphose, yeah, I'm pretty sure we lost. Do not know why I cannot beat this deck with these shadow decks. So he's gonna run Ritual. Fortunately, the mana output he's getting is reduced. He's only gaining +1 for each ritual because he has no creatures. Manamorphose. 6. Lightning Bolt, Grape Shot. That's game. So it doesn't even need to do all this. I don't have any cards in hand. What the heck is this guy doing? Does he not realize he has a Grape Shot in his graveyard? I really hope this guy just concedes to us. That'd be great. I mean, if he's showboating, whatever. Storm count got to 10. Did you see that flourish that 10 had? On the plus side, our Death Shadow is going to be huge. Alright, so lose to yet again. Storm. What the heck, man? What is going on here? Don't really understand. I feel like this should be an easy matchup. And maybe I'm just not mulliganing properly. Maybe I don't have the right read on hands. I just feel like the deck is too consistent. If I don't get the most explosive hands, I do not beat this deck. Anywho, that's it for this one. We'll be back with another one later.